Right. Go for it.
It is our very special honor and pleasure to welcome to Sydenham Shul in South Africa a very brave, heroic woman, mother, teacher, Rabbanit, who has become part of Am Yisrael, really. Back in 2014, the whole world, including all of us in South Africa, were davening overtime for those 3 young teenagers who were kidnapped by terrorists in Israel, Naftali, Gilad, and Eyal. And sadly, our prayers were not answered, and they lost their lives to terror. And although Rabbi Stern and I have not had the privilege before to meet Rabbanit Rachelle Fraenkel, but we feel like we know her since 2014 because we feel like her family is part of our family, and we're all in this together. And so for us, it's a very special moment and privilege to welcome you. And on Shavuot, we say Yizkor, and the Chazan and choir usually do a beautiful Yizkor service. And besides praying for our own loved ones, we pray for the memories of the 6 million holy martyrs. We pray for Israel's fallen soldiers and for victims of terror. So your son, your family, and his friends are included in our prayers, have been, and always will be. And you've managed not only to keep your life together, but you've become a beacon of light for others. And you're speaking, now you're not traveling, now you're traveling over Zoom, but you traveled around the world personally, and now you're traveling over the world in Zoom. You were talking to Australia the other day, and today South Africa, and presumably you've been around globe-trotting on Zoom somehow, because you've not only managed to survive your ordeal, but you've managed to become a tower of strength for others, bringing inspiration. Rachel, what's your secret? How do you do it?
Wow. So, I usually, my biggest problem is introductions, because then I feel like I want to escape home, and nothing I can say could live up to that, but I am home in Zoom. And I must say, I don't deserve those descriptions. Mostly, we were kept up by unbelievable support and circles and circles and circles of people from the closest to the furthest away that were praying, that were standing together, that were sending energy and good words and pieces of their heart. And with so much support, it's not such a big chokhmah to stay there. Yes, it's been a great privilege to get to meet a lot of wonderful people. I actually was in Johannesburg, and you're some of the warmest Jews in the world. Some of them are in Johannesburg.
We're very proud of our community.
You should be. A bit of the wrong continent, but otherwise you're. Yes, really. There's no secret, and if the secret, it's the secret of Am Yisrael, and that's deeper and higher than any of us could really put into words. So the fact that you're saying that in Yizkor in South Africa, you mentioned, of course, all the Holocaust and the fallen, and our sons right there with them, is, truth is, it's amazing to me. It's quite a distance, and the connection should never be taken for granted. You were saying, we feel like you know me. People sometimes say, you don't know me, but I know you. And the truth is, I feel like I do know you because I have this deep sense that we went through something together. You know, if a person stops me in the street and they have something to say, they've earned the right. We've gone through so much together. They were with us and cared and prayed and loved, and it's theirs almost as much as it's ours. So thinking that's expressed also through Yizkor is actually very special.
So when you travel and you speak to communities, what do you say to them? Tell us. Speak to us.
Well, actually, it's if we're talking about Yizkor, about remembering, it's not the memory of my son that is concerning to me. I'm not so much into commemoration, and the truth is, you guys all the way in South Africa, you probably wouldn't have met him. He was a great kid, but I don't know when you would have met him. So, like many others that experience different losses, I pray that he lives on in the life of people that knew him, his family, his friends. That I don't need you guys to know his name. Okay. It's the memory of who we were as a people in that summer, our ability to come together, to connect, to care, our feeling of being truly an extended family. And we don't feel that every day. Sometimes we need, big reminders. So that memory is what, as long as it still has the power to, what did you say, inspire? It's I don't know, I'm afraid of that word sometimes, but as long as that still has the power of reminding us what we're capable of, I'm out there trying to remind us that we stood together in front of Har Sinai with one heart and one people, and it's something that we can connect to, we can tap into, to at least as far as knowing that we're capable of it. In the day after the funeral of our sons, there were like 100,000 people there. And someone I know met Natan Sharansky, the refusenik. And Natan told him, when I saw the funeral, I felt like it was Ma'amad Har Sinai, like Sinai, where we say that everybody's souls were there. Some were there physically and some were only their souls there. So there was something of that sort. And then you ask yourself, well, if that was a Sinai of sort, what's the Torah that came out of it? And some of the Torah that came out of it is about being one people and remembering it throughout our disputes and our important arguments. So that's, if you ask what I say, that's a lot of what I say. In the context of Yizkor, I probably want to say, the Talmud in Ta'anit says Yaakov Avinu didn't die. And the Tana there actually says, Amorah there says, seriously, so why did the eulogizers eulogize him, and why did they bury him, whatever, so much trouble, he never died. And the pasuk they bring to continue that argument reflects this idea that as long as a person's influence continues in the world, as long as his children keep on his legacy, then he's never dead. And when I think of Yizkor, of people, I don't know how the minhag is by you, but by us, people who don't say Yizkor yet, they leave the shul, and it's a whole.
By us too.
Yeah, I'm not crazy over that minhag. It's just a big mess, but kind of the people that have a loss to commemorate are there, and it's usually parents that we remember. And one of the things to keep in mind is, as long as we're around, as long as there's a continuation to these souls that are standing with us in Yizkor, a person isn't dead. As long as their legacy continues, as there are so many good deeds that are done, through him, through his inspiration, through the education he gave us, you're never dead. And I'll say two other things. I don't want to keep you too long. One is that it's a special time there, and it's very special that you specifically mentioned the soldiers that fell and the terror victims. But the truth is, from my own experience, if we would be able to offer a fraction of the support that we get from Am Yisrael, when anybody goes through loss, and there's so many kinds of loss in our world, yeah. Now there's Corona, and there's a lot of, we don't have to go into details, but in the end, it doesn't matter if it's, one of these Klal Yisrael fancy losses, or it's a private tragedy. It's the same loss, it's the same yearning, it's the same wound that's so painful. And we are so capable of offering this tremendous hug. So in time of Yizkor, one of the things to think about is, who can I reach out to? Who I assume is back to normal, but really is still carrying things that we should be there for. And it really doesn't matter if it's a soldier, if it's terror, if it's a victim of other tragedies. And another thing that happens, and again, I don't know what happens in your shuls, is that over the last few years, the people whose parents, thank God, are alive and they don't say Yizkor, they started saying a different prayer that is, first of all, there's a nusach that we give out, but it's first of all giving thanks to Hashem that my parents are with me. And Baruch Hashem, mine should live for many more years and be well. And thank for the grace, for the chesed, and pray for them, to bless them with good health and good senses, and have nachat from all their offspring. And then request from Hashem the strength to do kibud horim like we really should do. And that's, that's an endless mitzvah. And we should experience it as a privilege and not as a burden. And we should do it with all simcha and dedication. So even the people that are not within the experience of Yizkor, there's something there about giving gratitude and praying for strength to be the wonderful children we should be for our wonderful parents. So altogether, this Yizkor experience is really very, very special.
That's a beautiful idea. We published I don't know if it was that prayer or a similar prayer a couple of years ago. But sadly, most people who go out, they just have a bit of a schmooze, It's a bit of
exactly. That's why I'm not so happy about that.
It's a break and an interval, except they don't have refreshments. But other than that, so, and what you said is so true. I mean, I've often said, for a family who suffered a loss of any kind, for that family, it's a Holocaust. 6 million is a number. But for that family, the quality of the loss is no different. So that's very interesting what Sharansky said, that was like the Jewish people gathering Ish Achad B'Lev Achad at Mount Sinai on Shavuot. And your tragedy brought the whole Jewish nation together in a similar vein. I'm going to ask Rabbi Stern to express our appreciation to you.
So Rachelle, thank you very, very much. Unfortunately, for the community, you weren't able to do this live due to a very, very busy schedule that you have. So you're doing this late at night, your time in Israel. It's late by us already. How much more so it's late by you? It's an hour ahead of us. We thank you for giving Rabbi Goldman and I the opportunity to engage with you and connect with you personally on this Zoom call, which we do plan to share with the community tomorrow in our pre-Shavuot program. So on behalf of the Sidlam community and the wider South African community, we thank you. We thank you for sharing with us your message, an inspiring message of unity of Klal Yisrael, which has always been your message ever since that summer. The message about thinking about others, which is amazing from someone whose gone through loss and bereavement in their own family to always have in mind, who else can I think about to strengthen through the process? The message of gratitude, and also the message of the eternity of the neshama, that our loved ones live on forever through their children or their offspring or their family that continue on their life legacy and their mission statement. So thank you for inspiring us and giving us a message of inspiration pre the Chag, pre Yizkor, with those thoughts that motivate you and inspire you during your life. We say at the end of, we just finished the book of Vayikra, and we said there, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazak. And the way we get strong is by strengthening one another. So thank you for strengthening us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you.
And as you mentioned, you know, Chutz La'aretz and B'nai Chutz La'aretz and B'nai Eretz Israel, those living in the diaspora and those living in Israel, strengthen families like your own. And we strengthen you, you strengthen us. And we thank you very, very much. And we wish you and your family and all of Klal Yisrael, please God, a Chag Sameach. Thank you very, very much.
And Bsorot Tovot, and a lot of good health for the community and for the whole world.
Amen.
Chag Sameach. Toda Rabba. God bless you.
Thank you. Okay.